darkness, out of the fear. Here comes the monster waiting.
Point of order.
You are not recognized, ma'am. You may observe from the dais.
I'm not.
Let her speak.
Let her speak.
Again,
The standing house rules do not allow for my removal.
you're not recognized.
I recognize her.
I recognize her. Yeah, that's fine.
That's our representative.
I recognize her.
You have been warned. The chair will order the committee room cleared if we cannot maintain order. The chair has made a ruling after consultation with the House Clerk's office. That ruling has been objected to. The path for that to go forward is for the minority chair, caucus chair, to appeal that ruling through the proper channels.
Can you cite the rule?
I'm sorry?
Can you cite the rule, please?
No.
You work for us.
Doesn't make any sense.
One more time. If order is not maintained in here, the chair will have this room cleared.
Mr. Chair, order is not being followed. The process is not being
I
followed.
said you are not recognized, sir.
That's my representative. I recognize him.
Oh, that's a good one.
Please,
This is not a democracy. This is
like the lady, I'm asking you,
a
would you leave? I'll get you removed home.
We're here to observe democracy, then let our representatives speak.
That is my elected official.
You are invited to leave, ma'am. If you do not, I'll have the whole room cleared.
I would like y'all to leave and let these good people make good laws.
The committee stands in 1 minute recess.
Help me, help.
That's my representative. Let him speak. Let him do his job. Y'all work for the people.
The Speaker of the House owes these young people and their families, the mothers and grandparents who joined them, an apology because his words were insulting to a grieving community. I represent a part of Nashville. This mass shooting happened here in Nashville. And rather than responding in compassion, he responded by demonizing these young people who simply were saying that we want to live. We don't want kids shot in elementary schools, that this is preventable.
There's a Republican state representative named William Lamberth who asked protesters, these kids who are out there just trying to survive, getting through high school alive, quote, is there a firearm out there that you're comfortable being shot with? He asked rhetorically. Please show me which one it is. And that it is you all that they're trying to expel.
They can't read the room. They haven't demonstrated any understanding. They haven't until, I don't know if he even looked kids in the eye when he asked that question of them. But when they walked into the chamber, past all these families that we spoke with, I talked to moms that morning who would drop their kids off and were so worried about were they going to be able to pick their kids up and would they be safe? And they didn't even look them in the eye. They didn't have a conversation. They didn't listen to them.
That it even appears that one of your colleagues physically shoved you.
In a partisan manner, it's the first completely partisan vote for expulsion. Voted to begin the process of expelling us. And as I was recording the gallery, as they cleared the media and the people who were gathered in the gallery, the speaker ordered them cleared. I was recording it, and my colleague, Representative Justin Lafferty, pushed me and took my cell phone and acted in a disorderly way. But he is not being threatened with expulsion. Instead, we three lawmakers who simply were saying that we stand with our constituents as they cry out and plead for us to take action on kids being killed in schools. We're being threatened with being expelled for standing and doing our jobs as legislators, just to listen to the grief of our people and to act on it.
We had a child molester on the House floor for years. He was admitted child molester. I brought an expulsion for him. They had him chairing an education committee. He was a teacher and basketball coach that sexually abused 3 14-year-olds. We tried to expel him, and they said, well, his voters knew, and they elected him, so
Lord
we can't
Jesus.
overturn what they wanted.
Unbelievable.
To it. You heard the president speak to this, the first lady speak to this last week. What we saw in Nashville, that horrific event of 3 kids and 3 adults essentially being murdered at school, was heart-wrenching and infuriating. Our hearts go out to their families. We understand that it's going to take some time to even move forward from such a tragic loss. Look, as you saw, and I'm sure have been reporting, 7,000 students peacefully marched to the Capitol to confront their lawmakers for their failure to keep them safe at school. And what did the Republican legislators do, as you just laid out, Sung Min? They're trying to expel these 3 Democratic legislators who joined in the protests. And so, look, what we're seeing from Florida to Tennessee in the United States are Republican officials who are doubling down on dangerous bills that make our school places of worship and communities less safe. And so they are, by doing what they're doing with these 3 Democratic legislators, they're shrugging in the face of yet another tragic school shooting while our kids continue to pay the price. That's what we're seeing every time that we hear one of these tragic events. President has been clear. Too many lives are being ripped apart. Communities are being ripped apart with this gun violence, which is an epidemic in our country. This is why he's taken the actions that he has these first 2 years and continues to have with executive action, historic executive action. And he's going to continue to call on Congress to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazine, require safe storage of firearms, eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability, and require background checks for all gun sales, and for state officials to take action at the state level. But again, Republican legislators, to your question, want to play politics and not put the lives of our kids first.
Representative Justin Lafferty pushed me and stole my phone and tried to incite a riot with his fellow members in this section of the House floor. I have it on video. I will send it to you.
Representative Jones, that is not a parliamentary question. That is an accusation. You can have that question at a later date, but this is unfinished business.
Battery is a felony offense in Tennessee that involves any physical contact with another individual that is against their will or not consented to. Having witnessed a battery on this House floor, I think we need to respond in kind to anyone who has committed this felonious conduct.
We don't have battery in this state, sir, with all due respect. We have assault, and for it to be a felony, it would have to be with a deadly weapon or cause serious bodily injury. But any other type of assault would be a misdemeanor, also which we would not approve of.
It's going to be a wild one.
We're here to clean up their mess. They're more interested in sweeping it under the rug.
You would think these things are all common sense.
Will you be supporting the motion to expel Byrd today? Will you be supporting the motion to expel Byrd?
Is there going to be a motion? I want to see what the allegations and the charges are.
Do you think they're going to get expelled today?
They can do the right thing now, or this can last another year.
I move that House Resolution number 6 be referred to the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee would take up an investigation so that we can have due process.
Prior to January 2020.
As quickly as our Speaker will allow me.
And not done behind closed doors.
That is exactly my intention.
Due process requires the person to come forward and give a forthright testimony. The opportunity for due process has been rejected or forfeited.
The victims have waited for years. Let's clean up our house and move forward.
This really feels like a delay tactic to me. They're here tonight in the balconies. It's very hard for them to be here, and we're going to ask them to wait longer. I just think that's not the right thing to do. I move that Representative David Byrd of the 71st Representative District be expelled from his seat as a member of the House of Representatives, assaulting underage students while serving as a trusted authority figure and continuing the crime through a cover-up while he served in the legislature.
In Tennessee, we believe in due process. I move the matter of expelling Representative Byrd to be referenced to the Judiciary Committee.
Aye 71, 25 nays, 1 present, not voting.
The motion prevails.
I think it was cowardice. He runs, he won't answer questions. That is the actions of a guilty man.
People are going to be subject to perjury coming in the future.
The maneuver that they made meant nothing. It was an attempt at a cover-up. He has not denied it. Representative Byrd has denied any due process. He's refused to speak. He went to her place of work while he was in session. There was a disinformation campaign run against those victims. Cover-up is a continuation of the crime.
Rumor is he's going to not run for re-election.
That's acknowledging, yes, there's a problem, yes, he's guilty, but he's going to wait a while. Every day that he remains in this House of Representatives is another day that those victims are re-victimized.